Hopefully you fasten your seatbelts for the next 2 hours.
Right.
That's nonsense, Clint. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry.
I don't care what you buy.
That's
just
nonsense.
My feeling.
You're not just buying a racetrack. You're buying a piece of American racing history right there. I mean, that's huge. The history behind the track, just mind-boggling.
You hear a lot of rumors in the rumor mill. I'll just keep tuning in to you guys to hear the truth when it comes down to it. So
don't do that. I've already had one dose of tin hat syndrome today. I don't need a second one.
Stuart Friesen said to Brett, he says, "Why don't you bring us to more places like this?" And Brett goes, "There isn't any other place like this."
Race fans, it's time to throw it up on the cushion and get dirty. Coming to you live from the Finger Lakes and Southern Tier, it's time for Turn 5 Live. Now, your hosts of Turn 5 Live, Steve Ovens, Clint Miller, and Brad Ovens.
Hello, race fans. Welcome aboard. However you may be listening to us, whenever you may be listening to us, you're listening to Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Steve Ovens, Clint Miller, Brad Ovens all joining me here tonight. And gentlemen, what a week. I don't know what you guys have over at your respective locations, but Clint Miller, I'm ready to pop the champagne cork here.
Man, what a great weekend, and everything's just kind of fallen into place finally after all this time.
All this time, all this wondering what's going to happen with Black Rock Speedway. What's going to happen with Black Rock Speedway? Well, guess what, race fans? We know what's going on with Black Rock Speedway. No longer going to be known. This will be my last reference to Black Rock Speedway, as the Speedway in Dundee, New York, closes a chapter on a time that saw the track go through some ups, some downs, a lot of change, and now has for the foreseeable future quite stability. This place is going places. Clint, I can't think of the last time that we had so many positive things to say about the Speedway. Tyler Seary now taking over as owner. Everybody has agreed to the terms of the deal and should all be finalized here very, very soon. Going to be changing the name to Outlaw Speedway. And we're going to be talking to Tyler Seary in our next segment. He's going to join us live on the hotline to talk everything regarding Outlaw Speedway. And, it's just the announcements that have come out already, Clint Miller. I'm looking forward to talking to Tyler about some of his plans, because they have certainly put out what's already been put out has been huge. Increase in purses. They're adding a division when a lot of the talk was, what division were you going to drop? And they've gone and added a division. You're going to be bringing in the Short Track Super Series. There's just so much to talk about.
Yeah, there really is. And, for those of you that, maybe just hearing about it the first time, we had an informational meeting on Saturday, which, was a great get-together, lots of questions answered, a real sense of excitement for the Speedway this upcoming year. Tyler's got big plans, as you mentioned, and, we're going to hear all that in a little bit. It's just a really exciting time, and if you've ever been to Black Rock Speedway or you thought about getting out, now you can go to Outlaw Speedway, because I think things are going to be okay. I think things are going to be big and move on, and sometimes it takes money to spend money to make money.
Oh, for sure, and certainly that's what Seary has done. $650,000 for the purchase of Outlaw Speedway, and it sounds like they are going to, not only have they cracked the nut of purchasing the Speedway, but they're also going to have all of these upgrades that they're going to do, and that total could be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars as well. And Clint, the thing is everybody that you talk to in the past about the dirt track in Dundee. It's in such a great area. It's the facility. You know, I'm going to work this summer for Ted White at Woodhall Raceway, and Ted told us, you know, when we talked to him at the banquet, that, you know, that facility is beautiful. The groundwork is there to have something so special, and, you know, the Speedway just hasn't got that tender loving care over the last, I'm going to say, 5 years or so, that it's needed to stay current with the times. And so, you know, certainly Tyler and his staff are going to have a big hill to climb to knock off all those things on the to-do list, but it sounds like they're really gearing up to do just that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and you know, but it's no knock by any means on Dan Harpel, on Mike Jackson. You have to understand is these guys were leasing the Speedway for a year, and why, as an individual, Dan or Mike, would you invest that kind of money into putting a new surface on and upgrading the facility when you just don't know what's going to happen the second year? It's not that these guys wanted to do it. It's just something happened. Something fell through. Dean didn't like the way it was going. Whatever the case may be, that these guys just couldn't get their opportunity to run a second year. And so, you know, you have that, and then you have, you know, you have Tyler come in who tried to purchase the Speedway a few years back. Some things kept falling through, not working out. You know, so Tyler said, well, we'll just have to, we're going to back out now and we'll readdress it, and he has. And now the Speedway is nothing but up from here.
So let's take a look at some of the things that have been announced, and we're going to be talking to Tyler here in our next segment. We're going to probably talk to him, I would say, probably for 2 segments. So if race fans, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask Tyler Seary, either send them through to the Facebook page, facebook.com/Turn5Podcast, or hit us up on Twitter at Turn5Podcast on Twitter. If you want to email through a question, it's turn5podcast@gmail.com. Guys, going over some of the details here. Modifieds, they're here to stay. Small block, big block modifieds for 2016. Big announcement here: $2,000 to win, $200 to start on a weekly basis. That has had modified country buzzing over the last couple of days. Almost a week now that this has all been out. First team to commit, other than the series themselves, CG Racing, Chris Generelli, Danny Johnson, the Doctor will make weekly house calls at Outlaw Speedway each and every Friday night. And additionally, the Generelli team has put up $500 to the modified driver with the most wins in 2016. So a little bonus there. The modifieds will also race for a $5,000 championship, which is big. That's big. I know that Thunder Mountain offers a same total on the championship, and now Outlaw Speedway will be doing the same. So that's big. Brad, I want to bring you in now real quick. Here's some of your reaction. And you guys were at the informational meeting. If any of the fans listening tonight hasn't been over to our YouTube page, look up Turn 5 Racing Podcast on YouTube. We've got the full audio from the rules meeting and informational meeting that took place this past Saturday. Brad, some of your reaction.
You know, guys, I can't tell you just how exciting and cool this is to finally be able to say, you know, the future of the Dirt Oval in Dundee, you know, we finally have something that we're going to consistently be able to go to. It, like Tyler said, if you haven't listened to the audio, listen to it. He clearly says in his meeting, you know, we have a home forever. We're going to be able to race here forever, and I can't applaud him enough for stepping up and being willing to spend that kind of money on the facility, and obviously he knows the potential that facility has to be one of the best dirt tracks in the nation, and quite frankly, I think with all the planning that he has, we could possibly get there.
Yeah, I'm with you. Looking over some of the other divisions that will race in 2016, the Crate Sportsman will be back. $600 to win there on a weekly basis for those guys. Street Stocks, they will be in competition each and every week. $500 to win, $50 to start every week for those guys. Crate Late Models, under the Rush banner, will make their debut as a weekly division at Outlaw Speedway coming up in 2016. They will race for $750 to win each and every week, $80 to take the green flag. And with being under the Rush banner, Clint, that's huge for the late model guys.
Yep.
They can now get their home track points from BlackRock. And we've already got 2 cars that say, as long as all these plans go through, we're going to be there every Friday as long as it doesn't conflict with the Rush Tour, and that's John Waters and Steve LeBaron. So talk about a couple of big pickups on top of the names we've already heard that are going to be racing there.
Yeah. We've already got Waters, Jason Knowles. Rumor has it that maybe the Wonderlings will be making back down, maybe Bryce Davis making a weekly home. And everybody knows those guys from the BRP days. No strangers to the Fast 410 Smile, and it's just one of those things that is as long it's going to be a new class, so there's a lot to be held on to just to see how it is going to turn out. But it's got potential to be big.
Yeah, absolutely. Also on tap for 2016, the IMCA Modifieds will be IMCA sanctioned, and they will run in 2016. Their purse raised to $500 to win. The 4-cylinders, $300 to win, an increase in their division as well, more than twice what they raced for last season. $300 to win for the 4-cylinders, and of course the Bandit division. I'm guessing they're going to be called the Outlaw Bandits. We'll have to ask Tyler Seary about that, and he's actually coming up next. We're going to talk to the new owner of Outlaw Speedway. We'll do it next here on Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice for motorsports.
Every 30 minutes, another innocent person is killed due to a drunk driver.
My best friend.
My brother.
My poor grandchild.
My sister.
My father.
My husband.
My mom. My mommy.
Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I've built my life around you.
Stop these tragedies before they happen. Don't drink and drive.
Do you love the sound of high-revving motors and the smell of burning rubber? Do you want to get your car sideways right at the ragged edge of control? If you've always wanted to try drifting or learn to improve your drifting skills, Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier motorsports facility, has the expert instructors and the specialized track to teach you how to drift and the skills necessary to drift competitively. From skid pad to open sessions, Summit Point Motorsports Park has the safe and open environment that allows drifters of all skill levels, new to intermediate, to get sideways and smoking. With a focus on safety and the skill set necessary to drift competitively, Summit Point Motorsports Park's Drift Nirvana is just the thing for you. Call for your reservation today, 304-725-8444. Or for more information, go online, summitpoint-raceway.com, or you can email them at office@bsrinc.com. Drift Nirvana, getting you sideways the right way.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ, photo booth, and uplighting company of Turn 5 Live and the Performance Motorsports Network. Stuart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are professional and experienced with events of any type. Creekside Entertainment specializes in wedding packages that are affordable and fun, and they are ready to serve you with the most up-to-date music and karaoke selection. If you can sing it in the shower, you can come out and sing it with Creekside Entertainment. And don't forget about the Creekside Entertainment photo booth and uplighting service that will transform your wedding or party into an event the family will be talking about for years. Trust the entertainment company that racers trust. Call Stu at area code 315-481-9700 or visit them online at creeksideentertainmentdj.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Twitter. Creekside Entertainment, division sponsor of the Black Rock Bandits in 2015.
Hi, race fans. This is Chuck Hebing, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Welcome back, race fans, to Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. The Cobra, Chuck Hebing, who's celebrating a birthday today, bringing us back from commercial break. And we're getting ready to talk to a guy now that I think is going to have a few visits from the Cobra this season, racing his 360 sprint cars. Tyler Seary joining us on the hotline, new owner of Outlaw Speedway in Dundee, New York. And Tyler, on behalf of everybody here at Turn 5 and the Performance Motorsports Network, let's first start with congratulations.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot. Everybody here is super excited that we got to get the racetrack, and so it's pretty awesome. So thanks for everything there.
So talk to us about, the process. I know that, you guys had tried to go through the process once before, and I've read everything that's been put out since the announcement, and the one theme that I keep reading over and over is the fact that, just the relief on your part to finally be able to get this done and call the Speedway yours.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously 3 years ago we tried it, and it just came down to the end of the wire, and the deal didn't go through. But 3 years later, here we are, and just super excited. It's going to be great for obviously myself, but for the racers and the fans. They got a place they can call home for forever. I'm 40 years old, and this is my passion for sure. So, that place is going to be racing till the day I die, and then my son can take it over and go from there. So that's pretty exciting news for everybody.
Tyler, when you said that on Saturday at the Dundee American Legion at the rules meeting and the meet and greet session, it really struck me that when those words came out of your mouth Saturday, you got quite an ovation from everybody that was attending there. Does that prove to you just how big this is for the racing community?
Yeah, it does. It really does. We had 162 people show up for the meeting, that had a 2-day notice, and to do that, and the response that we got with everybody in the meeting itself, and the cheers of that being said, that people really love that speedway and support it, and it's just big news for, like I said, not only myself and my family, but the whole racing community. I mean, we started out there today, this afternoon in the town of Dundee with the mayor and business owners in Dundee, and you wouldn't believe the positive response that's out there for us in doing this racetrack. And everybody in the local community is just so ecstatic that we're there and going to do what we're going to do there for them. And it's huge for everybody. Not only, like I say, myself, but the racers and the local community. In Dundee, and it goes beyond that. Penn Yan, just everybody that's I can't believe the response that we've had from everybody so far, and we haven't even got started yet. So that's really exciting, and that goes to show you how much people love, the racetrack at Dundee. So
Definitely, I couldn't agree more there. We talked to a lot of people about what makes that track special, what makes that place tick. What was it for you? And I know that you had unique perspective because you've raced there for a couple of years, and or visited on occasion anyway. And what is it about that place that is just I know the other day you had mentioned how somebody asked a question about the motor combination, and you pointed to the racetrack just providing that opportunity so that the motor doesn't necessarily, for the modifieds, doesn't necessarily make or break you. But what is it about the Speedway, Outlaw Speedway now, that is just makes it such a great track?
yeah, let me touch real quick on kind of my history with the racetrack, and then I'll go into the other parts of the racetrack. But real quick, when I was a kid, I grew up in Watkins Glen, and I'd always go up to the racetrack and sit in the stands and watch the races there, and always loved the Speedway. It's history for me. And then my son came around, and when he was born, I took him up there in the grandstands, and we sat there every Friday night and watched the racing there. And so it's like home to me. It's my home track. So that's really cool. And getting to the aspect of me as looking to purchase the place, and looking at that, coming in the pits every Friday night and going to race there, it's just, the place is beautiful. The facility is awesome. Obviously everybody knows it needs TLC, and it needs this and needs that. And so me as a business owner, I look at that and say, wow, this place has so much potential. It could be so much more than what it is. It can be like it was back in the Lindhoff days and all that stuff with the way the facility looks and all that stuff. And, I know that the economy is different than it was back then. Obviously, it's different. It's different for everything, for race cars, for, fans, and, what I mean? Everything is different than it was way back then. But, for me locally and going up there on Fridays and watching it, it's just participating there. It's just, the racetrack itself is just awesome the way the racing is. It's not too big. It's not a rolling wheels where you got to have big motor. You can only run certain classes. It's not a really small track where, it caters to, a small block car or whatever. The sprint cars can get on that track and really show what they can do and put on an awesome show. The four cylinders put on an awesome show. The street stocks, the IMCAs, the sportsmen's, it just, every class is awesome racing. So, as a fan and as a racer, you say, okay, this racetrack for a fan is awesome because it's always side-by-side racing. There's not one guy gets out and he's gone. Some of the other local tracks that are near there, the surface is the way it is, and it's just hard to get a hold of it. And, you got one or two guys that dominate every week, and, this place is unique that everybody's really equal in every division. And, it's great for a fan to sit there and watch that, and it's great for a racer to race on the track knowing that, it's just tight racing and everybody's competitive. Every motor combination with the big block thing that's why I went to the Dale rules, is because, I know in this economy people, they got to freshen their motors, that maybe it's too big. Now they got to buy a new block or whatever the reason is. That's awesome with, Outlaw Speedway is that we can take everybody's motor and everybody's competitive. And that's awesome. You know what I mean? So
talk about, certainly one of the big headlines to come out since the announcement that you've purchased the Speedway is the fact that, the modifieds weren't going anywhere. They're going to Deo rules, but they're also going to run for $2,000 to win, $200 to start, and a $5,000 championship. And we've already seen this is starting to pull out some big names that are going to make Outlaw Speedway their Friday night home.
Yeah, it's when I looked at the purses and looked at what was going on there with me being an owner, and what it costs to do this, and it's an expensive sport for sure. And I looked at it as we need to be 200 to start with. By the time you buy your gas to get to the racetrack, and fuel and tires, and it's just. And I felt, hey, listen, I want to cater to everybody, and 200 to take the green is everybody's $100, so $200 to take the green, and not only is it $2,000 to win, but it's you got $2,000 to win, you got $1,200 for second, $800 for third, $650 for fourth, $500 for fifth. That payout is awesome, and it's going to allow people, not only the guys that race professionally, but the guys that race for fun, or the guys that are beginners that want to come over and race, and they can afford to come at $200 to take the green. So I thought that was real important to do that, and I've seen some other tracks out there now are catching on and are bumping their start purse, bumping their regular purse, and that's where it needs to be in today's era. And things are expensive, and we need to work on helping the racer out.
Well, I certainly think that, some of these things that have come out have certainly got the drivers, the fans talking, fans from other tracks talking, even some drivers from other tracks talking. And, that's certainly all been a great thing. Tyler, we got a lot more that we'd like to ask you tonight, if we can hold on to you for another segment here.
Sure.
All right, more with Tyler Seary from Outlaw Speedway here on Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
Here's an important message from RAD and this station.
Hi, this is Bob Sheehan from Blues Traveler for RAD, recording artists against drunk driving. I like to party just as much as the next guy, maybe even more, but the one thing I won't do after I've had a few is get in the car and drive. Don't blow it. Always choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives, and so should you.
You are a waste. A loser. Everyone hates you. Why don't you just stay in your car and keep driving? I'm serious. Drive until you run out of gas, then get out of your car and walk until you find someone who doesn't think you're dumber than bricks. Could take a while, but at least all that walking might burn a couple of calories.
You may not witness bullying like this every day. Your kids do. They want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov to learn safe, simple ways your child can help stop bullying. Be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
You own a performance car and you know how to drive, but you want to learn real performance driving. Well, Bunky, get that car off the street and onto the track. Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier road racing facility, located just over an hour from D.C. in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, is the place to go. And you'll find that Friday at the Track is going to give you what you need. For less than a monthly car payment, you can attend this regularly scheduled one-day instructional event in your street car on one of Summit Point's 3 world-class road racing circuits. You'll receive classroom instruction, skid pad instruction in their cars, including front and rear skid control, and 4 20-minute in-your-car instructional sessions from a professional instructor. Have fun, go fast, and really learn how to drive. Call 304-725-8444 for class schedules and details. That's 304-725-8444. Friday at the Track at Summit Point Motorsports Park.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ, photo booth, and uplighting company of Turn 5 Live and the Performance Motorsports Network. Stuart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are professional and experienced with events of any type. Creekside Entertainment specializes in wedding packages that are affordable and fun, and they are ready to serve you with the most up-to-date music and karaoke selection. If you can sing it in the shower, you can come out and sing it with Creekside Entertainment. And don't forget about the Creekside Entertainment photo booth and uplighting service that will transform your wedding or party into an event the family will be talking about for years. Trust, the entertainment company that racers trust. Call Stu at area code 315-481-9700 or visit them online at creeksideentertainmentdj.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Twitter. Creekside Entertainment, division sponsor of the Black Rock Bandits in 2015.
Hi, race fans. This is Fran Hilton, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Brandon Hilton bringing us back from commercial break here on Turn 5 Live on PMN. Steve and Brad Ovens, Clint Miller joining you on the program tonight. Tyler Seary, owner of Outlaw Speedway, on the hotline with us. And Tyler, before we went to break there, we were talking a little bit about modified purse and payout and things of that nature. I know that, in the days since the announcement with Outlaw Speedway's purses and things like that, we saw Thunder Mountain come out with a release that they are upping their money to take the green flag at their Saturday night speedway. So I'm curious to know, since you've taken ownership of the speedway, has there been a lot of track promoters or owners reaching out to you, or the other way around? Have you reached out to any of the other local promoters?
No, actually not. I know some people and the drivers or owners in that race, and they've mentioned that, there's some other tracks that are going to be coming out with raising their purse. There's some down in Binghamton Way. I've heard Canandaigua was going to bump their purse up. So I don't know how they're going to play out, but I just want to say that our purse isn't just a 2,000 to win purse. It's a purse that pays everybody. You know what I mean? It's not I can throw 500 on my purse and make it $2,000, but it's everybody's, and it's not just the modifieds. The late models got a great purse. The sportsmen's are racing for 600 to win. The street stocks, the IMCAs are racing for 500. The four cylinders are racing for 300 to win. So Outlaw Speedway's taking care of all their racers. I appreciate what they do. We want them to race at our track every year, and you know what I mean. I'm taking care of everybody, not just the modifieds, and it's going to be it's a great purse all the way through. So. I haven't talked to anybody yet about it, but, another thing I wanted to mention, too, on these modifieds, since we were talking about them, the awesome part about Outlaw Speedway is that you're not going to have one guy dominate the racetrack. You know what I mean? You got Danny Johnson coming, and you got some other guys coming, and nobody's going to dominate that track. So a guy that was racing there last year can win any given night, this season. A Tyler Seary, a Steve Payne, a Alan Johnson, Danny Johnson, if you had a Matt Shepard, there's nobody that's going to dominate the racetrack, where it is on, other racetracks in the area. You got one or two guys that dominate, and everybody else rides around for fifth on back. You know what I mean? And that's the beauty, again, of Outlaw Speedway is the racetrack, the size of it, the surface. Anybody over here can win, and they can win $2,000, and you're not going to come from 18th to win like other places do. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen. So, and then you got a great person there all the way down the line. You know what I mean? So I think that's what attracts the drivers a lot. So it's going to be exciting. We've got so much response from new drivers that are going to be coming this year to the racetrack, and a lot of the divisions, from what we had from last year when Mike was promoting to, who's going to be racing this year. It's just going to be huge, and the sponsors that are already coming on board already is huge. All the VIP booths are sold out on the grandstand side. All the concrete pads are sold out already. So it's exciting, and it makes you feel good, because you spend a lot of money for this racetrack, and you know what I mean. Obviously, you appreciate everybody's support, and you need it. You know what I mean. So we've got a lot of momentum, and everybody's just super happy. So whatever we can do for the fans and for the drivers to make this place the best it can be every Friday night is what we're going to do.
Absolutely. One addition for this year. is the crate late models, and you just announced the other day that you guys will be a rush a sanctioned track, and that certainly got a lot of crate late models racers' attention in the area. $750 to win for those guys, $80 to take the green flag. But for some of those guys, more importantly, they can now get their Rush home track points by paying a visit to Outlaw Speedway on Friday nights.
Yeah, we've, Vic at Rush she was super ecstatic about, getting us sanctioned over there. And, we're working on a date right now to have a sanctioned race there. We've got a couple of dates to choose from. That's going to be awesome. I love the late models, and, I've watched them race over there in the past, and even the VRPs, those guys put on an awesome race over there. You know what I mean? Again, just it doesn't matter what class it is there. It's side by side to the checkered, and so yeah, we're super excited to have the crate lates there, and got an awesome purse. $750 to win. $115 for 10th. $750, $500, $400, $300, $250 for 5th. So we've got a lot of calls from the drivers. How excited they are to to be able to call Outlaw Speedway their Friday night home. And, we've got pretty much the best of the best of crate late models will be racing there every Friday night. So, that's an exciting new addition to the Speedway for sure.
Now, Tyler, this is Clint, and I met you there Saturday as one of our representatives.
Yep.
Now, you talked about the modified purses, street stock purse, all the purses for all the classes is awesome, and we can't thank you enough as crew chief on a car myself, and that'll help get my driver there every week. But now let's talk about what we're going to do for the fans, because you have got something great in place. If you look at the schedule with the $12 admission, 12 and under always free, but what you're doing as far as the bike giveaways and all the corporations that you're going to acknowledge, like the American Legion, Boy Scouts, and such.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things I wanted to do is, get the local community involved, get the fans back there at the track. That's why today we just spent time at Dundee and in the town and got with the mayor and, went to all the local businesses, and just said, hey, listen, here's what we're doing, and, we want to be, make sure you want to be part of it. We're going to give you a first option to do that, and with sponsorship and so to speak. And, we've been talking to the Boy Scouts Club there in Dundee. They're having their Pinewood Derby coming up, so we talked with them, and, we're just going to do everything we can to get the fans back there and get them involved, and, whatever we can do to do that, we're here for them. And, like you mentioned with the, the organizations that we're going to be honoring this year with, the American Legion, Little League Baseball, United Way, the DARE program. Speaking of the DARE program, we know there's an issue in Dundee, with the drugs and stuff like that that's been going on up there. So, one of my guys, Frank, was there at the school today, talking to the school and seeing what we can do to help them out, bringing DARE over to the racetrack and setting up the table and getting the community involved and, getting these kids involved with the Speedway. So, Frank and his wife was there at the school today, setting up a program with them. That's huge for us to get them involved. And, the food pantry, the Boys and Girls Club, the SPCA, Salvation, and then law enforcement, EMT. Everybody's, it takes everybody out there in the community to make the world go around. And, we want to honor everybody. And, we're going to bring, a mascot, a clown back to the track. We're going to give the free monster truck rides, give away T-shirts, and, just all kinds of fun stuff to do for the fans, bicycle giveaways. We're going to put a little kids playground thing over there to the track so that kids can play in. And, just get everybody back involved. That everybody loves it over there, and they love the facility, the track, and we just got to get it back again, and we're going to do whatever it takes to do that.
Tyler, we got a couple minutes left with you, but I still got a few questions I want to get in here with you quick. We had a fan send in a question to us wanting to know about some of the improvements you're going to make to the facility, but I'll limit you to the top priority. What's the top priority for facility improvements for your team right now?
Well, all of the above.
Okay. I like that answer.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I'll make it short. What's that?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I know we're cutting short on time, but I'll make it short and sweet. Just like I said, everything's a priority. We've already been doing a bunch of stuff up there already with taking care of the facility in the back and the junk and all that stuff, and so we've been working on that, and we're going to be doing a lot of remodeling and interior work while the weather's cold, and once I get back from Florida, in a couple of weeks, hopefully the weather will be better and we can continue to do it. But there's going to be a big improvement before you get there for the April 22nd first night out of racing. You'll definitely see a huge difference in the facility for sure.
And we'll wrap up with this one here, Tyler. Another fan asking if we'll see Outlaw Speedway participating in either the Binghamton or Syracuse car show.
Yeah, the plan is to set a booth up at Binghamton the end of February, and then also at Syracuse for the show next month for sure.
Very good. Very good. OutlawSpeedwayLLC.com is where you can find all the information. You can find them on Twitter, Outlaw Speed PR, and Outlaw Speedway LLC, or PR at Outlaw Speedway LLC.com for all your questions, and those folks will get all your questions answered for you. Tyler, congratulations again. We appreciate the time having you on the show tonight, and looking forward to seeing what 2016 brings in Dundee.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, and appreciate what all the work you guys do for not only Outlaw Speedway, but for the other tracks that are in the area and the fans. It's we can't do it without everybody's help and support. And I can just tell you one thing: this Outlaw Speedway is going to be, it's going to be what everybody's been looking for and wanting on a Friday night. And we hope we can get everybody's support. So thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, that we will. Clint Miller, your goosebumps gone yet?
No, man, this is awesome. I'm pumped.
Well, why don't we step aside here? We'll let Clint collect himself here. And on the other side, we're getting ready to talk to Tyler Walker, 600cc micro sprint champion from this past season. You're listening to Turn 5 live on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
Parents, your son or daughter has had their license for a while now, but you want to make sure they're prepared for any situation they may face on the road. High school driver's ed doesn't teach them to drive defensively. They need to be prepared for any highway emergency. For less than a month's insurance, and a whole lot less, BSR instructors at Summit Point Motorsports Park in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, will teach your son or daughter how to respond instantly and positively to unexpected situations on the road. BSR's specialized accident avoidance training teaches swerve to avoid maneuvers at highway speed, ocular driving, which focuses driving attention on ways to avoid accidents, vehicle dynamics and feedback, skid control and skid recovery, threshold braking on straights and progressive braking on curves, and off-road recovery techniques. This is stuff driver's ed simply doesn't teach. So call BSR today, 304-725-8444. Give your kid the skill set needed to drive safely and responsibly on the highway. That's 304-725-8444.
So when you get to the corner of Smith and Orchard, you're going to want to take a
You
left.
are not going to
then
believe
what you're
this.
going to do is turn
Marcy
onto Marcy
and Brad
Avenue
just broke up,
and go past
and
the
apparently
first 3
she's
lights,
happy
and
about
then
it.
take the next left.
I don't really
Then
think
drive
she's
5 more
happy,
blocks,
but
and you should be
who am
there.
I to judge, right?
Park
anyway,
on the right.
That's
I'll
what
see
I
you
heard
later
last
tonight.
night.
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ, photo booth, and uplighting company of Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network. Stuart Ovens and his staff at Creekside Entertainment are professional and experienced with events of any type. Creekside Entertainment specializes in wedding packages that are affordable and fun, and they are ready to serve you with the most up-to-date music and karaoke selection. If you can sing it in the shower, you can come out and sing it with Creekside Entertainment. And don't forget about the Creekside Entertainment photo booth and uplighting service that will transform your wedding or party into an event the family will be talking about for years. Trust the entertainment company that racers trust. Call Stu at area code 315-481-9700 or visit them online at creeksideentertainmentdj.com. You can also find them on Facebook and Twitter. Creekside Entertainment, division sponsor of the Black Rock Bandits in 2015.
Hi, race fans. This is the voice, Shane Andrews of the Big Block Modified Super Dirt Car Series, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Tyler, we spent the break so that you could take care of your goosebumps, and then we come back with Shane Andrews, and now I got the goosebumps going. I'm ready to roll here. It's just how we do it here on Turn 5 Live, and we got the Tyler and Tyler show with us tonight. We're going back to the hotline and bring in quite an impressive micro sprint racer in his own right, Tyler Walker, joining us on the program. First time we've had Tyler on the show, and Tyler, appreciate the time tonight, my friend.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the invite to be on the show. Gets my mind a little bit away from the books here at school and be able to talk about the racing season, which we're all excited for.
Well, we'll talk racing here in a second, but tell us a little bit about school. That's a good place to start.
Yeah, so I'm a junior marketing major up here at Niagara University in Niagara Falls. Really enjoy it. It's a really good experience. I mean, it's a smaller college, so the classes are a little bit smaller, but the information you take in is key to success here in the future.
Brad that does the show with us here, he's a little familiar with Niagara himself. He's got a little familiarity with the coaching staff of the rugby team up there.
Let's whine, though. Oh, no, sorry.
No, not that kind. Not that kind.
Oh, all right.
I'll tell you what, Tyler. Marketing, great place for you to be looking toward in your education, and I'm sure that helps with the race team, and we'll switch gears into the race team now. You guys had another solid season. We got to see you personally wrap up the championship at what's now called Outlaw Speedway, and you guys came out and took care of business that weekend. But tell us about the season.
Yeah, well, we'll go back on another note here. The marketing actually it helped me. It flip-flopped. We used to be sponsored by Original Pizza Logs back in the day. That gave me the opportunity and experience to already have real-life experience once I went to the school. So I bring that asset in each time that I'm working with a group. I always have one guy that I do a lot of my projects with, Otis Brown. Our experience together is just it's just crazy because we do such a good job in all our projects and stuff. But looking at it from the racing standpoint, it helped a lot because now I don't know if you guys are familiar with Skinny Atlas in Lafayette, New York. 1911 Hard Ciders is from down there. They're our primary sponsor this year, and Ed Brennan, he's the head of that. So here at school, I'm in the Niagara University Marketing Association. It gave me the opportunity to meet Ed Brennan here at school, and we just got talking, and he told me that his dad drag raced back in the day. So we really kicked it off really quick right there, and then and we also have Downtown Delhi on the car there in Auburn. So a lot of just guys out in the Central New York area, not as much up here. They just love racing, and they like to see us do well. Going back to last year now, we had 9 wins, and we wrapped up the 2015 NY6A Tour Championship. That'd be the second New York Championship in the past 3 years here for us, but I want to be able to do it all without my father, So I got to give a big shout out to my father right there real quick. Had to get his name in there,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. What talk to us about? You had 9 wins this season. Is there any one of those, or maybe a couple of them that stood out above the rest this season for you?
Well, I have to say definitely at Weedsport Speedway, just because the crowd was massive, there was a ton of cars, and that's where we really put the step in. We won the New York Speed Weeks last year for our class. So just to win in front of the crowd and go up on the Victory Hill there at Weedsport Speedway with Dave Farney flag, I've known him for years. I mean, we've been around racing forever. That was definitely the one that stood out.
Oh, I mean, yeah. With Weedsport Speedway, I mean, there's only been so many drivers that have even been up on Victory Hill. That's got to be pretty special to add your name to that list.
Yeah, that's very factual right there. This year, I look to do a lot of the NY6A events. My plan is right now, and I probably will end up going, is to go study abroad in South Korea in August. So I'm going to be cutting my season a little short here about mid-August before I go over there. So we're going to get as much racing in as possible. And the thing that I'm most excited about, actually, not even myself racing, is my little brother Wyatt. He took a little stint off there. He started when he was 4 years old, and now he's getting back into it. He's about 14. He just turned a couple months ago. So that's actually the most exciting thing for me, is to get another walker behind the wheel there.
Oh, absolutely. That's great. And so with that being said, I have to imagine that, being that ahead of time here that you're going to be cutting the season short a little bit, that you're going to, want to really make the most of all the 2016 races that you guys go to this year.
Yeah, and we're really excited. I mean, having 1911 on our car is huge because we haven't had a primary sponsor here in about 4 years. So to have Ed Brennan come on, and he's a huge figure at my school here, so to have him on board is just huge for us.
Absolutely. What is the trickiest part about getting those 600 micros hooked up to all the different tracks you guys go to? They seem to have some pretty good power, and trying to get that power down to the ground's got to be a little bit of a challenge for you guys.
Yeah, it's more on the smaller tracks. That's what I enjoy more, is because as a driver you have to work harder on a smaller track to get around the cars, obviously. Once you get on the bigger tracks, I mean, it's just foot to the floor, but I mean, if you don't have the setup down and you don't have your car nut and bolted and gone through every week, then you're obviously not gonna do well, and that's what it comes down to. You can talk to Tyler Seary and all them guys. They take their car apart during the week, nut and bolt it, grease it, whatever they have to get done, and then they go to the next track. That's why a lot of them guys are running up front. Now, the guys who don't take the time to do that, those are the guys who are running in the back, and a lot of them can't put their finger on it, but that's what it is. You have to put the work in to get the results. And I think people are starting to figure that out a lot more. So when you come to the track prepared and you have everything ready to go, then everything goes kosher, And that's a big thing in my dad's thing. He used to run pro stocks from 88 to 01 up here at Ransomville, Merrittville, and Gasport, and that's how I got into the race. And so, I mean, that's my mentor, and he, ever since day one, he's embedded that into my mind that we have to prepare, have dedication, and then we'll win. But the main thing is to have fun, and that's what we've been doing these past 2 years.
Now, you kind of hit the nail on the head there, and I just wanted to reiterate, races are won in the garage. People can say what they want and say that they work hard at the track, but if you don't work hard Monday through Thursday, we'll say, because if you're racing on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, but if you're not on the ball on those days, then those results show at the track. So what's the future hold for Tyler Walker? I mean, obviously you're going to South Korea or North, and you're going to go abroad. What's the future in racing hold for you? Do you plan on going to the V8 sprint cars, or you're just going to kind of run with the 600s?
Yeah, see, I mean, as a young boy, you always have a dream of being a huge race car driver, going out and doing it professionally and as your full-time job. I obviously, with with our incomes, that's not possible. So I mean, we were with Pizza Logs for years. We had things looking up, but unfortunately, Bob Cordova passed away a few years ago, so that was an end to that. So I mean, you don't look back, you look forward. We were out of racing for about a year and a half there, and then my dad finally was like, "Man, what are we doing? This is our hobby. This is what our family is surrounded around." And for a while there, I wasn't feeling myself because I wasn't at the track, I wasn't driving. Once we got that going in 13, we traded 2 snowmobiles for a car, and that's how we got back in it. So we went to the track with the used equipment, and we prepared like we were talking about, and we won. So I mean, the more of it racing for me is just having fun. Now, where we're at, I'm having fun. I want my little brother to get in the car, and I want him to succeed. And I already know that he's going to be better than me, and I will admit that. So in the future here, honestly, I'm probably going to be paying more attention to making myself as in the outside world here, working. I want to work internationally and globally with as many places as I can. But my focus is getting my little brother there on the track, getting him to his potential, and just being there as somebody he could talk to and somebody that could steer him in the right direction.
Tyler, he's going to have you to look up to and to lean on for info and knowledge this season. Who was a driver that you looked up to and tried to learn as best you could from as you were coming up through the ranks?
Other than your dad.
Other than Dad, yes.
Yeah, other than Pops. That's a really good question right there. But I mean, a lot of the drivers and that, I mean, they go out there and they just kind of think that it's foot to the floor, throw it in there. Oh, I hope it sticks. But the 2 drivers that I think have the most finesse in the North, actually in all of the races that I've seen here in the past couple of years. Well, I should say, I'm going to say 2 from modified and 2 from sprint cars here for you. How about that?
All right.
So you got Matt Shepard and Stuart Friesen. Those guys, if you look, their car is dead straight going in the corner and dead straight coming out. And going, I mean, if you're not going forward, you're going backwards. And those are the 2 that I keep my eye on because no matter what the condition is, they're always quick, and it's for that reason. They finesse their cars. And I know you had Chuck Heaving on here earlier. I look up to him as a driver because, one, that man's crazy in a car, but he is fast and he's crazy. He will do whatever to win, and you have to give him props for that because a lot of guys, they'll ride back in that. But, I mean, it's a sprint race for a reason. He gets to the front, and that's why he's so successful. He has a whole lot of energy behind the wheel there, and he just kills it every time.
Tyler,
and then number 2 there, Steve Poirier.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Steve Poirier is crazy, man. He's fast too. They keep their cars straight. They do their homework, and I mean they've been in it for a long time. So those are guys that you look at to learn from.
Tyler, you talked to us about them a little bit here, but let's give your marketing partners another plug here as we wrap things up.
Yeah, definitely. I have to start out with thanking my father and my family mostly because those are the people who get me to the track on a daily basis. But a huge shout-out to 1911 Hard Ciders out of Skinny Atlas right there. You can get them at your local Wegmans, Tops. Just check it out. Downtown Deli out of Auburn, New York. That's a huge friendship right there with Habita from Auburn. So those are the main guys, but I also got to thank all the little people that just come to the races and watch us and show their support because that's what makes it fun for me. Not winning, I could care less to win. I love to win, but I want to thank those who come and support us on a week in and week out basis.
And Tyler, before we end our time here, I want to thank you for helping us set up our next interview with a pretty good shoe himself, and Eric Rudolph.
Yeah, Eric and I have been friends since we've been little kids. Actually, my cousin grew up right next door to them. My dad's known them forever. He's a great driver, and that's another guy who I look to as a driver to look for experience in that. And before we end here real quick, I just got to thank my buddies over on Chestnut real quick. They hooked me up with the computer to listen to you guys today.
Oh, awesome. Well, Tyler, appreciate the time tonight, and we're looking forward to watching yours and Wyatt's progress through the season.
Yeah, appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you. And maybe Tyler Sear could get us down to Outlaw Speedway. I love Black Rock. Outlaw.
Yeah, we'll put a quarter in the bucket for you, and we'll talk to Tyler about that without a doubt. Tyler Walker joining us on the hotline here tonight. We just talked about Eric Rudolph. He's on deck. He's going to join us next here on Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
You own a performance car and you know how to drive, but you want to learn real performance driving. Well, Bunky, get that car off the street and onto the track. Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier road racing facility, located just over an hour from D.C. in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, is the place to go. And you'll find that Friday at the Track is going to give you what you need. For less than a monthly car payment, you can attend this regularly scheduled one-day instructional event in your street car on one of Summit Point's 3 world-class road racing circuits. You'll receive classroom instruction, skid pad instruction in their cars, including front and rear skid control, and 4 20-minute in-your-car instructional sessions from a professional instructor. Have fun, go fast, and really learn how to drive. Call 304-725-8444 for class schedules and details. That's 304-725-8444. Friday at the Track at Summit Point Motorsports Park.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ball in street? Girl in street!
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Here's an important message from RAD and this station.
Hi, this is Bob Sheehan from Blues Traveler for RAD, recording artists against drunk driving. I like to party just as much as the next guy, maybe even more. But the one thing I won't do after I've had a few is get in the car and drive. Don't blow it. Always choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives, and so should you.
Motorsports sales professionals. Performance Motorsports is looking to build a team of experienced media sales professionals to represent our programming to the industry's top companies, magazines, and racing series. If you have motorsports sales or marketing experience, know how to work with agencies, understand social media, and are incredibly creative when it comes to working with clients and promotions, then we want to hear from you. Top performers are richly rewarded. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444, or email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
Hi, race fans. This is Brett Deo, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Brett Deo bringing us back from commercial break here on Turn 5 Live. Stephen and Brad Ovens, Clint Miller joining me on the program here tonight. And Clint Miller, we'll bring you back in here. You just brought up an interesting point. We just talked to Tyler Walker about the 600 cc micros, and we've talked to Eric Wright from the Rebel Outlaws, and we're going to have Eric on the show here again real soon, talking a little
next week.
Rebel Outlaw tech anyway. Boy, what an interesting idea that would be to do a challenge race with the 600s and the Rebels.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as we were finishing up with Tyler, because the Rebel Outlaws can use a bigger motor, up to 800 cc's, and it seems to me like that would be a lot harder to put down to the track, but on a big track like Outlaw Speedway, where you can hold it to the floor, it might be a little more, that motor may show up more, and it may just come down to driver. I don't know. I think it would be kind of interesting to run across.
Well, we're going to try Eric Rudolph here on the hotline, joining us on the show tonight. Eric, appreciate the time. talk to us about 2015. We'll start with 2015, and then we'll look at what you have going on this season. But talk to us a little bit about your guys' season overall last year.
2015, we ran all over the place. We didn't really run for points anywhere. We ran most of the races at Ranceville. Ran a bunch at Merrittville. Did a bunch of traveling. Went down to Pennsylvania a bunch. Went to Ohio. Went to Canada a couple times, Cornwall. Overall, we ended up with 9 wins and 20 top threes. And, successful year. Had a lot of fun. Went different places and probably got valuable experience.
Now, that type of schedule where you guys did a lot of traveling, didn't necessarily follow points anywhere, was that more fun for you to do the traveling and get around all over the place, or do you prefer to get yourself locked into a points race?
I've never really been much of a points racer, and I don't really like the responsibilities of having to be somewhere at a certain time, at a certain day. I mean, a lot of these times, there's races, and then with the mountains, there's so many options you can go to where, somewhere looks like rain. I don't want to feel obligated to have to, drive there in the rain and have that disappointment in all the teams' faces, when we come back. It's just not good for anyone. So, that's why I like not really running for points championships. And it really doesn't do anything for me. I've won a few go-kart championships and asphalt modified championships and whatnot, and I don't know, the championships never really did it for me. Sometimes there's good person at the end of the year, but a lot of these times these track championships they really don't pay much anything. So obviously the dirt championship pays money and stuff, but that's a lot of commitment too.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of commitment, a lot of time, a lot of money up and down the highway. You talked about getting out and traveling a little bit last year. Was there any new tracks that you made it to last year, and was there one that stood out?
I would say the one track that stood out to me this year was Tri-City. When we went there, that was a new track for us. When we went there, sticks out in my mind just because it was a new track we went to, and you always remember the ones you did good at, and it was a fun track to drive. And I think the BRP Tour will be back there this year, so when right then on the schedule, we'll have it circled, and we'll be preparing and thinking about it. And and other than that, a bunch of the Deo races that they had this year, they were first time stops for me as well. So, but yeah, that's the one that sticks out to me.
Is there any new places that you're looking at in 2016 that you'd like to hit for the first time?
Well, I think I would say that the race in Eldora is definitely an interesting race, and one that really raised my eyebrows a bit.
Right.
It's going to be pretty neat to run with the NASCAR trucks, and there's a lot of history at the track, and Tony Stewart owns it, and yada yada yada, and then it's just a lot of hype for that event, and to have Sharon right after it, a track that we were pretty familiar with. We ran there a handful of times, and we got a hot setup for there. Outdoor's going to face all new challenges, which is exciting, so we're really looking forward to that one.
Now, you talked about, they've got the Eldora race, they've added Sharon. Is that a good thing for the drivers that are going to be traveling down there, Eric, to have, you're traveling all that way? Is it good to have a couple of shows to be able to run, or do you think that doesn't make that big a difference to the drivers heading that way?
Well, I can't speak on behalf of all the drivers, but for us, it's actually not that bad to go there because we live on the westernmost part of New York, so it's not really a big deal to go there and to go to Sharon. so I can't speak on behalf of them, but it does make it nice that when you're going out that way that, there is a couple races along the way back. So it's not, it doesn't feel like a waste going out there all that way and then all that coming back.
And looking, those are a couple races you guys have got circled for this year. So that brings us to the next question. What does this year bring for you guys? What are you guys looking at? You're looking at the same kind of deal, traveling around and going to what you guys want to go to?
Yep. Yeah. That's the general plan. Going to run most of the BRP races, most of the Deo races, the North region there, and probably run the good majority of the dirt races. All the schedules aren't out yet, so there's a lot to take into consideration. But yeah, that's our general plan for this year, and we're super excited about it. We're getting ready for Florida right now, and we're going to take it one race at a time. And we're really excited about that. We're leaving here shortly in a couple of days.
Yeah, Eric, is that a combination of your team and the Chrysler team, or how does that set up for you this year?
Yeah, that's. I got a out of my own garage. I got the 25 red, white, and blue 25 machines, and they're just about ready to go here. They're going to be racing the 358, the weekly stuff, and then I might put together a car to run for the North Series, and then the Randy Chrysler number 25 will be running all the big block stuff, which will is yet to be determined once all schedules come out. But we'll be running, we'll be staying busy with the 25 machines this year.
Very cool. Very cool. Eric, one thing that makes you, as a driver so unique, and I see more and more drivers doing it these days, but you are just as prolific an indoor racer the past couple seasons as you have been on dirt. What is it about those indoor shows that has just made you so successful there?
Well, I'll say number one is experience. I mean, I've been racing 600 and TQs now for better part of probably 7 or 8 years, I gotta say. And then before that, even I was racing go-karts indoors. So, there's a lot of experience coming into it. I've been teamed up with Mark Laffler for a while. So, I mean, we have a lot of experience working together. And, I don't know, I mean, I think it takes a unique set of skill sets to run those races. And, it just seems like maybe I got a grasp of it. And, it certainly helps that I feel like I have the best yellow machine out there, or machine in general.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you guys have one more indoor race on the schedule coming up.
Yep, right after Florida. We're taking the yellow buggy out to Trenton, and hopefully we can close up this championship, get a win. It'd be great. It'd be a great way to cap off the indoor season.
And I'm not quite as familiar with the indoor races, Eric. Do they run do they keep points for all 3 of those shows?
Yeah, they keep points for 3 races there. I'm not really sure where I sit right now. I don't think I'm in the lead, but I'm right there with 1 win and a 10th. Unfortunate 10th. I feel like I had a car to win the race. But yeah, they keep points. I've been fortunate enough to win, I believe, the last 2 or 3 championships for the indoor series. So I hope to defend my title this year.
Well, that would be a great thing to do. I know that we always enjoy seeing your name pop up in those results. You guys have just had so much success there in that division. Eric, talk to us about some of the folks that help get you out on the track as far as sponsors go, and maybe the crew.
Yeah, I mean, I got tons of backers and tons of crew and tons of people that help me out. But my own machine, I got Snyder Industries and Mohawk Northeast on board again this year, Brigham Concrete, and then I got my whole crew that helps me on Mondays, and then anytime I need them to go to races with me, some of them are made up of people that worked in my father's crew in the past. Dan Tice, Andrew Shemhorn, Joe Mahalik, Rich, Chris, my tire specialist, Grandpa, Dad. It's a team effort. And then, with the Randy Chrysler number 25 purple and white team there. I got Davey Fozzie on board. He's in the shop every week with me and every day with me throughout the week. Wyatt Fozzie and Randy Chrysler. And, Mitch stops in from time to time. And on that machine, we got, Reaching One for Jesus is going to be on the car this year. 3 Tusky, Pogo Racing engines, and that's about it.
Well, Eric, I appreciate the time catching up with you tonight. Wish you guys a lot of luck in Florida and at Trenton as well. And I'm sure we'll see you out and about this year like we always do.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Eric Rudolph joining us on the hotline here. Clint, when we get to our later on in the program, we're going to talk more about these segments with all these drivers that we've had tonight. Eric in particular, they're getting ready to head to Florida and then down to Trenton. And we've got some discussion points we're going to bring up and talk a little more. But coming up next, race fans, we've got Dean Reynolds from the Lucas Oil Empire Super Sprints going to talk to us about their schedule that was recently released and also about that huge 3-day weekend where all 3 of the big 360 national events in the Northeast are going to happen on one weekend with the 360s, the best in the land, going to compete. Dean's going to tell us about it next here on Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
Do you love the sound of high revving motors and the smell of burning rubber? Do you want to get your car sideways right at the ragged edge of control? If you've always wanted to try drifting or learn to improve your drifting skills, Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier motorsports facility, has the expert instructors and the specialized track to teach you how to drift and the skills necessary to drift competitively. From skid pad to open sessions, Summit Point Motorsports Park has the safe and open environment that allows drifters of all skill levels, new to intermediate, to get sideways and smoking. With a focus on safety and the skill set necessary to drift competitively, Summit Point Motorsports Park's Drift Nirvana is just the thing for you. Call for your reservation today, 304-725-8444. Or for more information, go online, summitpoint-raceway.com, or you can email them at office@bsrinc.com. Drift Nirvana, getting you sideways the right way.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with his talent? 1 in 260,000. The odds of this born racer having 157 career top 10 finishes in NASCAR? 1 in 125 billion. But every driver seeks the pinnacle of their achievements. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm NASCAR driver Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the Performance Motorsports Network, your authority on motorsports of all types. Be listening for the most accurate and up-to-the-minute coverage of every motorsports activity that you enjoy on a daily basis. Be it NASCAR, be it IRL, be it Formula One, be it drag racing, be it dirt track, off-road, props, hulls, whatever. We are your source for motorsports. Performance Motorsports Network.
Hi, race fans. This is Billy Dunn, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Welcome back, race fans, to Turn 5 Live here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Steve Ovens, Clint Miller, Brad Ovens joining you here on a Tuesday night, and getting ready to talk now with Dean Reynolds from the Empire Super Sprints, of course sponsored by Lucas Oil again this season. And Dean, great to have you on the program tonight. Of course, we got to start with Lucas Oil coming back for this season. It's been a great partnership for both of you guys.
We are just kind of speechless at how this has worked out with Lucas Oil. This is their 8th year total, and I believe the 6th year they sponsored the tour, and they are just an amazing company to deal with, and we're honored to have their name on our tour for so many years, and they actually came back even with more backing than they did last year, and we're just honored and blessed to have them. We really are.
Talk about 2015. We always get ready for the new season, but it's always fun to kind of look back and kind of recap, how 2015 went.
Well, we had a point battle that came right down to the last event last year at Fonda. We had Steve Poirier and Jason Barney, and Steve jumped out to a lead early on in the year, but Jason really came on strong at the end. I mean, just top 5 every single race, and we had a nice point battle. Steve wound up winning out, and it's his 6th title. And but it was good to see those two just battle it out right to the last race, and we had a really good year. Car counts were up. The only bad part was the beginning of the year, Steve. You remember, we just kept on getting rained out. We never got our first show in until Memorial Weekend.
Yeah, I do remember that, and there was whispers going around that there was something about this guy named Dean that was just bringing the bad luck with Mother Nature.
Well, between ESS and my duties as the Go Nuclear late models, our first 8 events between the 2 clubs were canceled because of weather. So I was beginning to think that there was only one common denominator between the 2, and that was me.
Yeah. So now you guys prepare for 2016 and the schedule for 2016 coming out. Let's talk about some of the highlights of the schedule. I know everybody always looks forward to seeing where the tour's going, and always seeing. There's always those typical stops that are always on the schedule, and then there's always some changes, and we always have a good time catching up with you to talk about what the coming year is going to bring us.
Well, the backbone of our schedule every year is always our full point shows, and we got right now 26 full point shows. We're probably going to be adding one more here in a week or two. But I told the guys we had 28 last year, and they seemed to think that was the good amount to go with. And I told them I won't schedule anything more than 28, and right now we're at 26. But some of the tracks that we added this year, we're going to have a little less travel for the teams this year the way it worked out, and we're going to be offering a little bit more money as well. So they worked out really well. We gained a Weedsport, a Fulton, a Can-Am, and a Thunder Mountain this year. We're going one more stop there, and one of the cool highlights that we got also is first time since 2008 we're going up to Cornwall Motor Speedway. So we're real excited about that, and then almost all the faithful tracks are back. The Utica Rome's, the Canada Egg was, the Brewertons, Oswego is back, Maryville's always back, Mohawk, Autodrome Grammy and Drummond up in Quebec as well is back. We're really looking forward. Sillians Grove is back, and and all these tracks are the whole full point shows, and that's always been the backbone and where the title's going to be decided.
Absolutely. I know usually in the early season, I believe there was. Does the series start with a full point show, or I believe it starts with a non-point show?
No, it starts with a non-point show. We're going to have a little joint deal down at Sillians Grove with URC and the regulars. It's going to be the spring shootout. It's actually going to pay $2,500 to win, $300 to start. But it's got a really good purse down through the field, so the guys are going to be racing for a little bit of money. And some of our guys like to go down there because Sillians Grove is a tough deal. You got the guys like Mark Smith and TJ Stutz and Cody Keller and those guys that run there every week. And we come down in May with our full point show, And really, our guys are a little bit disadvantaged because we only see the track once or twice a year, and those guys run it every week. So this gives them the opportunity to come on down, maybe try some different things to see if it can work, and then when they come back for the full point show, they'll be a little bit more ready. Right now, our first full point show will be at Fulton. We're going to kick off the High Bank hold-up weekend. We might have one the week before that. That's one of our TBAs on the schedule there, but we'll see if that pans out. If not, we'll start at Fulton this year. We're really excited about that. That's going to be a really big weekend for Fulton because it's us in the Super Dirt Car Series for sportsmen and big block modified. So that's going to be a fun weekend.
Now, coming from a guy who I know is, has just as much fandom toward a modified as he does a sprint car, that's the best ticket in town, in my opinion anyway, and I'm sure you'd probably agree when you compare up the big blocks and the 360 sprints.
Yeah, and that's, I agree. A lot of these tracks, when they asked what should we run, on your card, and I said, well, I know it's going to be a big nut for the purse, but you're going to do well with modifieds and sprint cars on the same card. Now, Jeremy Corcoran was a good example of that last year. He ran the Super Dirt Car Series there in May and had some bad weather, and it wasn't that great, and then he had the All-Star Sprints in June there, and again, it was during school, but, the crowd wasn't the best, and he was a little nervous because his biggest purse show all year was the Super Dirt Car Series and us during Speed Week. And I said, Jeremy, trust me on this one. Your biggest problem is to make sure you don't run out of hot dogs this night and where to put the people. And lo and behold, thank God I was right. I had a feeling I was going to be, but the Super Dirt Car Series and ESS on the same card was just a hit for Jeremy. And then we're going to do it also a Utica Rome during Speed Week. So we got 2 races where it's us and the Super Dirt Car Series. So to me, that's great shows. But most of these tracks where you see ESS, you will see their regular modifieds on the same card, and it makes for a great night.
You brought up Speed Week, and that has really been a popular week for you guys. Really put you guys, a center stage in Central New York, where ESS was born and where it continues to thrive. Talk to us about Speed Week this year.
Speed Week is, we're back again at the same 5 facilities, so we'll start out with Brewerton on Wednesday night. I believe it's June 28th, I think it is, June 28th or 29th, that Wednesday night, and then we go to Canandaigua Thursday. We go up to Can-Am on Friday, Fulton on Saturday, and Utica Rome on Sunday. And it's become such a, now it's like a tradition because this is our 3rd year, our 4th year, and it's really turned out really well. And we can't thank some of the organizations of the tracks enough. URC has decided to shut down that week so their guys can come up and race with us, and I thought that was awesome. And Sterling Scroll's not even running their 360s on that Saturday as well. So if their guys want to come up and run, last year we did after top star Mark Smith ran Patrick Vigneaul's car during the whole entire Speed Week, and he's going to do it again, and hopefully we can see some more cars come up for the sell. So we're thinking that this Speed Week's going to be the biggest one yet.
You talked about, now it's become a tradition. Was that a tough sell when you guys started Speed Week?
It was. We had, I believe, 5 years ago, we wound up doing, Rolling Wheels on Thursday. Then we did Can-Am and Utica Rome. And we had a really good weekend. We didn't have a show on that Saturday. Then the year after that, it worked out where we had Brewerton wanted to do a race, so they did Wednesday. And we had Rolling Wheels on Thursday, Can-Am on Friday. We didn't have anything on that Saturday, but we were going to go with Utica Rome on Sunday. And then all of a sudden, Corey Reed says, you know what? Let's put Fulton in on that Saturday. And that was actually the last race we booked that year. I remember it was only like 2 weeks before the March show at Syracuse, the car show. And Corey came on in and said, let's do the 5 days. And that's how I got started. Canandaigua took place on Rolling Wheels last year when, with Rolling Wheels not sure what they were going to do and not opening and stuff like that.
Sure.
Jeremy's now aboard. I always said to Jeremy, you got first dibs, because he goes, if anyone drops off that Speed Week, I want to race, and that's what happened. And so he got it, and now he's part of it. And But it just it wasn't really a hard sell, more for the promoters than it was to my teams, because they never did anything like that. And then the first year we ran Speed Week, we ran the 5 shows. Believe it or not, Steve, we had 25 cars hit all 5 shows.
Wow. That
even amazed me.
Yeah. That's a great.
So I knew it can be done after that.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, 3 years later, you look at what it's become, and you just use the word. Now it becomes a tradition with these guys, and I think that part of it, the fact that it's become a tradition, folks are staying at each other's places, and you even see that when you guys travel north of the border, and that's always, to me, that's always what's made ESS special.
Well, it's a good group of drivers, and now the fans have kind of joined along in the fun. I'll tell you, the campers for Speed Week, when, they were all over the place.
The schedules come out now, and I know that you guys always have a real nice booth at the Motorsports Show. How are those plans coming along?
Yeah, we should have 4 to 5 cars in the booth. I don't think we're going to go with the 7 or 8 that we had the last couple of years, because it's becoming a lot of work. So we're looking at the scale down to about 5. I got some guys that are interested, and a couple of guys that are giving me some maybes. Hopefully we'll be there. And of course, last year I was having it at like 6 or 7, and a couple of people wanted to be part of our booth. So we'll see what happens. But that's when we have our printed schedules. We have our new merchandise out, and and that's always a big show for everybody. That kind of kicks off the the racing season here up in New York. They're already racing in PA, but up in New York, that's like the big deal for us.
Absolutely. As we always like to mention and talk about, where can folks find the information if they want to learn more about the Lucas Oil Empire Super Sprints?
Well, our website is empiresupersprints.com. If they search Empire Super Sprints on Facebook, they'll find us right there. We do have a Facebook page. And Twitter, we're at ESS Prints, and they can follow us on Twitter. And matter of fact, tonight we just hit the social media really hard to announce something that we're being a part of this year, too, is the first ever Mid-Atlantic Crown Weekend, where ESS and URC is getting together. We're going to have Williams Grove, Stillings Grove, and Utica Rome run 3 nights in a row from July 29th to 31st. Williams Grove is going to run their 360 National Open. Stillings Grove is going to run their 360 National Open, and Utica Rome is going to run the Colt Cup on Sunday. All 3 nights, total purse is going to be over $80,000.
Wow!
And we just announced that tonight. Amazing how the 3 tracks all work together. Their 3 biggest shows for 360s all year is going to be on one weekend.
Wow! I mean,
so that's
can you even try and predict what a car count's going to look like for that? That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's a potential of $24,000 to win if you win all 3. But the main thing that we wanted to do is, 90% of the teams are probably going to come in and maybe don't have a chance of winning. But the way we set up the purses, if you even just start the 3 A mains, you're going to come home with $1,300 minimum. If you finish 10th in the 3 races, you're going to have about $2,700 minimum. So it's set up where teams can run Williams Grove and Stillings Grove to the most famous tracks in PA and have some fun and hopefully make some money. And then our teams will come back up and try to defend the turf at Utica Rome, and we hope the Pennsylvania and Jersey teams come up with us. That's going to be a huge weekend.
Oh, that's huge. That's awesome. I think you're going to see without a doubt, you'll see the best of the best that weekend, and you'll see them on some of the most famous tracks in the Northeast to boot,
Yeah,
so.
And the highlight for me, me, I'm a history buff, but our ESS merchandise trailer is going to be the infield at Williams Grove on that Friday, July 29th, and to me, that's something I never thought I would see. I mean, that's going to be cool, because I go to Williams Grove all the time. I go for the National Open. I love the history, and now we're actually going to be part of an event, so that's going to be really neat.
Cool. Well, congratulations on that announcement. That's big, and I know that'll be that'll be lighting social media up here for sure. But Dean, appreciate the time as always, talking ESS with us as we always do our season preview. And again, appreciate the time, and we'll see you at a track soon here.
Sounds good, Steve, and always a pleasure to be on. And you'll tell the other guys I said hi, and we'll talk to you soon.
Will do. That's Dean Reynolds from the Lucas Oil Empire Super Sprints, doing our yearly season preview, getting ready for 2016. EmpireSupersprints.com. Check out all the information. Schedule is out, and check out those dates in July. 3 huge shows all in a row. Williams Grove, Sealands Grove, and Utica Rome. We'll have a lot more on the other side of the break here. Stay tuned. You're listening to Turn 5 Live on the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
Okay, so Sarah, I'm dropping you off at Emily's?
Yep.
And Josh, you're going to?
Soccer, Dad. Soccer practice.
Right. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to let you know when I pick you both up, I'll be wearing my short shorts.
What? No!
Yep, and my dorky dad hat, and I'm gonna do my dad dance for all your friends. They'll love it!
Seriously? Why?
Because I like my short shorts. Of course, I could be talked out of it if you guys would just buckle up your seatbelts without giving me a hard time.
It's important to get your kids to buckle up for safety, no matter what it takes. And sometimes, all it takes is your parental powers of persuasion.
Okay, we're buckling up. See, all buckled.
Good choice. I'll just have to do my dad dance at dinner time.
What?
No!
Do what you have to make sure your kids are wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
If you're a gearhead and you just can't get enough of your favorite motorsports on that channel on the cable, or you look at that Guy network and you just go, what does that have to do with me? We have the answer. Performance Motorsports Network. Right here on the internet. The best cruising tunes, the best in motorsports programming, and the best shows. We have opinionated hosts, and we like it that way. If you want to get involved, if you want to bench race, be listening for information coming up soon right here on this channel, the Performance Motorsports Network, your source for motorsports.
Hi, race fans. This is Mel Thomas from Thomas Video, and you're listening to Turn 5 Live on PMN.
Mel Thomas bringing us back from commercial break here on Turn 5 Live, here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Steve Ovens, Brad Ovens, Clint Miller coming to you whenever and wherever you listen to Turn 5 Live. If you're listening with us live tonight, don't forget we're live each and every Tuesday night here at 7:30 on PMN, performancemotorsportsnetwork.com. You can always click on the Listen Live link on the website. You can also download the PMN app to your smartphone, or you can use the TuneIn app or the AHA Radio app for your smartphone as well. So all sorts of different ways you can listen to us. If you don't happen to catch us live on Tuesday night, we've always got our archives up on YouTube as well. Search Turn 5 Racing Podcast on YouTube. Gentlemen, boy, how do we even start to digest all the information we got tonight, Clint?
I don't know. It's almost an information overload of sorts. I mean, it's you go from Tyler Seary, I'm going to call him Outlaw Speedway mogul, to his plans. A young gentleman, Tyler Walker, who praised everybody but himself, it seemed, and with the talent he has, it's really nice to see a young guy sound like that. Humble, wants to see his brother succeed. Already says his brother's going to be better than him. Um, Eric Rudolph, probably one of the top talents in racing. Has won in everything he stepped in. And then Dean Reynolds, one of the best promoters in the business. Maybe in the sprint car side of it locally that we have, and what he's put together along with the 3 tracks that he was talking about, and then the speed weeks and all the tracks getting together. It's just been a terrific night and a very informative night for everybody.
And can you believe there's still news that we haven't got to yet?
I can't believe it.
Now, we talked about this on Motorsports Madness last night, and of course that's with our good friends Jacob Seelman, Tom Baker, Kyle Magda, and the crew over on our Monday night show. And we were talking about this last night, and this was quite a math equation, guys. And I'm going to bring both Brad and Clint in on this one. Somehow, 2 minus 1 equals 4 for Hanky Baldwin Racing in 2016.
Oh.
When we found out that Matt Shepard had been released, it was, they were going to be going to a one-car team. They wanted to be more involved with the one car that was part of their team. And now it seems that now they've got Dave Blaney on board. They've got Max McLaughlin on board. They've got Mike McLaughlin as a crew chief on board. And they've also added Peter Britton, which, Peter Britton just moves over, becomes a part of the HBR team officially. I mean, he was, had his garage on the other side of the property, so that's not, necessarily out of the blue type of thing. But what's your reaction to this, guys?
I'm really perplexed, I guess is a good word. I really thought with it was all kind of fishy with the whole, how it all came about. And what was said, it always seemed like that there was something missing from the whole thing. And we got Matt's side of the story, and we got Hanky's side of the story, but there always just seemed to be something missing. And now we know that, I don't know, I'm really not that I'm upset. Matt's going to be fine. He may be better off on his own as it is. But to hear what he said about wanting to be more involved, like you said, with Jimmy Phelps' program, and wants to know what's going on, and now all of a sudden you've got 3 cars, 4 drivers, and more of a chance to not be involved nearly as much.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Brad, your thought?
I don't really know if there's much that they could say to, I don't know if justify is the word I want to use, but I mean, there's not a lot that you could say to make us go, oh, okay, we understand when you get rid of, the guy who came in the first year with the team, went out and won the Super Dirt Car Series title. I just, when you have a driver of that caliber that's winning that many races, that won that many high dollar races, that's that big of a superstar in our sport right now, I'm sorry, but I still look at it with they still got egg on their face because they have yet to come up with an explanation, a good explanation that I believe. And now, like you guys said, they come out with this 4 driver, 3 car team deal that it just doesn't make sense.
And I guess I look at it, guys, as a thing that I don't even know that they necessarily have to give us an explanation. It just seems that you had a guy that came in his first year. He got runner up. They almost won the championship. They come back the following year. They continue off on this tear, and they go on and win the Super Dirt Car Series championship. And then, just kind of out of the blue, that driver's out on the curb looking for a ride. And then, you say that it's because you want to go to a one-car team. And then a press release comes out not just a few months later, and the quote at the top of it says, "Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything." Now, maybe I'm reading too much into it, guys. You tell me. But that quote is awfully telling as to what exactly transpired that, found HBR going from two cars to one, now to three with four drivers. And, Matt's out on his own deal. I don't know. I don't know.
Go ahead, Brad.
I think, this is just my own personal look on it. Is I think some of it had to do with the fact that, we look at two of the drivers that are coming in of the new three drivers of the team, and one of them is the son of a former NASCAR superstar who has the backing and the financial support and the supporters around them to bring to the team. And then you also have another former NASCAR driver as well as a former superstar of the dirt side aspect of it before he went to the NASCAR scene. So I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe this was a move to bring in some potential new sponsorship, keep things going, or a move of that nature to associate a big name with a big team.
Yeah, Brad, I agree with you. That quote that you read, Stephen, is one man's thoughts, and it's one side of the story. It's his side of the story, and
sure.
maybe he just didn't see eye to eye with Matt. Maybe the quote isn't anything. I don't know, but I know what you're saying because I'm with you. Maybe it's possible we're reading too much into it. It's possible we're not.
Yeah. Well, it just, when that came out, it was just kind of like, huh? for a team that wanted to go down to one car. I mean, and that's, that's my only thing to it is, if you want to go down to one car, that's cool, no problem. But when the Super Dirt Car Series champ, but again, like we've said here tonight, Matt's going to land on his feet, and I think. I don't know, guys. I mean, he was pretty good last season running the Troyer cars, and now that he's moved back to Bicknell, where he started with all of his success, boy, guys, I got to tell you, we may not have seen the full potential of what Matt can do. And boy, if
one thing that I love while we're still talking about this is look at the fact of some of the sponsors on the car. Look at the place where he's housing the car. Look at who owns the shop that's housing that car, and I tell you that right there, that combination again, even if it's not what it used to be, still has me excited enough to not be able to wait to see what they're going to be able to produce this year.
And we were talking to Tyler Seary earlier, and guys, this is something that the three of us have kind of been batting back and forth for the last couple days. Matt obviously is going to run Canandaigua. That's where he can get his home track points for the Super Dirt Car Series. But with the increased purse and how close it is to home, I mean, do you guys think it's realistic that we could potentially see Matt Shepard on Friday nights in Dundee?
Boy, I don't know. I would like to sit here and say absolutely, no doubt in my mind. I can't say that. He's been to Brewerton so many years. It's kind of like a second home to him. But having said that, anytime he's came down to the Speedway, he's had success. So, having said that, for $2,000 to win, which chances are he's going to get 4 or 5, he's going to get his. It's a real precursor to what that team can do potentially with that extra money in his pocket.
Brad, I want to pose the question to you this way. For in order for Matt, running the Super Dirt Car Series, needing those home track points, do you think it's important for him to have two tracks like that, Brewerton and Canandaigua, so that, if one track isn't going very good, you've got the other? I mean, he's been dominant at both of those places for years, and it's kind of been, his MO to winning championships is knowing that you can count on those home track points from one of the places that he runs. How important do you think it is for him to have two different places to run for home track points?
I kind of think it could go. It's easily could go one of two ways. It could go the way like you're saying, he wants to have the two tracks that are dirt car home points, just in case, if something happens. If you have a string of bad luck at one track at Canandaigua, he's got Brewerton to fall back on. Or I could see it going the other way that we've talked about all week long, that, they've been the dominant powerhouse at Canandaigua. He's always in the top three. He's always one of those guys that you got to watch out for. Could he use his, could he, he's taking a risk going out on his own on a single car, self-owned team on the Super Dirt Car Series. So that's a big risk all right there. Does he take the risk of running Canandaigua and taking the risk of going to Outlaw every Friday night and, coming away with, with, like Clint said, 4 or 5 $2,000 wins? That money could certainly help his weekly program, and especially with the Super Dirt Car Series. So I don't know. I could see it going either way. I would love to see him out at Outlaw to help support and, and just put that, give the track that much more of a base to stand on to say, we're attracting some of the biggest names in our sport. And I can also see it going the other way. So I'm not 100% sure because, like I said, he has been dominant at Brewerton. He has been dominant at Canandaigua, but anything can happen, and especially with a brand new team.
That they will have this season is a brand new team. They've got one sharp looking race car that they're going to do it with. I can tell you that for sure. But here's another question to kind of dovetail off of that. You look at the competition that we could see at Outlaw Speedway this year. You've got Danny Johnson, who's already committed. I know that, although he is not yet committed to it, I know Alan Johnson was really hoping for the Brett Deo rules if they kept the modifieds there, which now has happened. So you could potentially see Alan at Outlaw. I know that there was a potential that he could have a motor deal to run Ransomville, but when you've got a track that's less than a half hour away from home running for 2,000 to win and 200 to start, that's certainly going to have to weigh in on their decision. You've got guys like Steve Payne, Derek Pozziadlo, Joe Ginn, Donnie Lawson, hearing rumblings that possibly we could see a former track champion at the former Black Rock Speedway that might be looking into running Outlaw Speedway weekly. I mean, this could be the most competitive season we've ever seen in that division.
Oh yeah, and you speak of Alan and Steve and Derek and all those guys, Donnie and the guys that ran the Gins. I mean, for me, I think it's kind of a no-brainer for Alan. Just like you said, it's a half an hour away. You're guaranteed at least $200 to come start the feature. I think that was one of his biggest reasons that he ran Black Rock, formerly known as Black Rock, last year with us all season long. Was it was close to home, it paid decent, and he had a chance of winning, and he had a chance of winning the championship all year long. And now, obviously there's a little more competition, but with that increased competition, you've got the increased purse plus the victory, the championship prize. So I think it's a no-brainer for AJ.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know how you can look past it, especially being Alan ran there last year, ran so good all year long. Like you said, really contended for for the championship up until week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks left. I don't know. He was still there at the end, and increased purse. You're not going to have a guy come down and run and win 8-9 times. You've got a. Well, I'm going to say 20 race schedule, and I don't know exactly the number is off the top of my head, and I don't know if they're going to add to it or what. If you have a 20 race schedule, you're going to have 6 different winners. So where does that that really mediates the field. It really, it's like having the salary cap in baseball. The way the track is, it really caters to all different drivers on any given night.
And with the new Deo rules, if you have a rain out at a track that's normally a Friday night track, or if the track has that week off, anybody can bring any motor combination, and you can run. You can run American Racer, you can run Hoosier.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. If you own a modified with a small block or a big block that doesn't have an aluminum block in the motor, you can come run Outlaw.
That's exactly right, Brad. And so now, if you're sitting at Canandaigua going, man, I'd really like to run Outlaw Speedway, but I don't have American Racer tires. Now it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Now you don't have to go buy a new set of American Racers or go find a used set.
You don't have to change the setup. You don't have to worry about shifting away from a setup and not being able to get back to it. You can run your same. Because I know the guys have said that the American Racer and the Hoosier tires don't quite equal up in size, so it affects the scaling and the setup on the car. And, I know that's one of the reasons that we've heard from Derek Pozziadlo why he has two cars. Because one was a Black Rock Friday night car and one was a Canandaigua Saturday night car.
This season, there's a bonus on the line for the modified driver that has the most wins in 2016. Based on, roughly a 20-race schedule, guys, what do you think that win total is going to be for the guy that gets that award? I'll start with Brad.
I think for the guy with the most wins, I think the guy is going to have at least, well, I shouldn't say guy or gal with the most wins. I think you're going to have at least 6 wins. I would be surprised if you had more than 8 or 9.
I was going to say 5 or 6.
Okay.
I would say 6.
I was even shooting lower than you guys. I was thinking whoever gets it will have 4 wins. But, I really think that the competition level is going to be so close with that this year. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of great things coming up here. We've got the Binghamton Car Show coming up. You've got the Syracuse Car Show coming up. The Arnett Mall Car Show, March 19th and 20th, coming up here as well. We'll, of course, be doing our show as we normally do there at the Arnett Mall. And, of course, the pit stop competition coming back to the Arnett Mall show as well. A lot of things to look forward to. Want to thank all of our guests tonight. Tyler Seary joining us on the hotline. Tyler Walker, Eric Rudolph, and Dean Reynolds also joining us on the show tonight. We'll be back here next Tuesday night at 7:30 with a brand new episode of Turn 5 Live right here on the Performance Motorsports Network.
Turn 5 Live is a copyrighted production of the Performance Motorsports Network. PerformanceMotorsportsNetwork.com is a member of the Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated and may not be rebroadcast, replicated, or saved in any media without the explicit written permission of PMN. The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host, co-host, and guests, and do not necessarily reflect those of the management and ownership of either the Performance Motorsports Network or Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated, the advertisers, or marketing partners. Thank you for listening to Turn 5 Live. You can listen to Turn 5 Live every Tuesday night right here on the Performance Motorsports Network. Stay tuned for more great PMN programming. Just searching for a world with some soul.